All right, are we live? Everybody joining us?
We're here.
All right.
All right. Well, just want to welcome everybody to the Amex for Foodies experience. My name is Jody, and I am the co-owner of Antler. I'm with the other co-owner and chef, Michael Hunter. And tonight we're going to show you how to cook the box that you got. We're really thrilled. We're the first Canadian restaurant to be participating in the Amex for Foodies program, and we're really happy that you could join us for this event.
Again, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I'm super excited to be the first Canadian restaurant to host Amex for Foodies. They're a community created for a passion for gastronomy. And we want to thank American Express for inviting us to participate. We're so happy to share this with you. We're at Jody's kitchen out of his home to recreate the experience with you. And we hope you have fun cooking with us tonight.
Well, yeah, again, we're happy everyone can join us. A little bit about Antler. We are located in downtown Toronto. I'm sure most of you know that. We've been around for 5 years now. Antler started as a passion for highlighting the cuisine of Canada, a lot of wild foods and foraging, and sort of a dream child of Michael's here.
Yeah, for me it was, I'm really passionate about Canadian cuisine. I'm born and raised in Canada, and our manifesto from day one was just to really be a part of defining Canadian cuisine. And you know, that's what we've created, a Canadian meal for you to cook at home.
Well, tonight we have our food box, which is almost well, it is exactly like the one that you have at your home that was put together at the restaurant. And we're going to go through it and go through the menu and the cooking order, and you're just going to be able to follow along with us now.
Another fun thing to note, all 3 of these recipes are available in our cookbook. Some of you bought the book with the box. Some of you have not got yours yet, but these recipes are in the book, so if you want to cook it at a later date, the recipes are in the Hunter Chef Cookbook.
Beautiful box, beautiful presentation. Have to thank the Amex for Foodies folks for putting together such a great packaging for us. Boxes are real solid, beautiful wood. Let's unpack it. Have your utensil list and recipe card, be able to follow along with, and a gift.
Fancy new aprons.
Fancy new aprons. And I think you have to put them on if you're cooking alongside us.
All right, so we're going to go through the box ingredients with everybody. One thing you will want to do at home is preheat your oven to about 400 degrees. We're cooking off these little inductions for you just for the cameras, but I've got an oven already preheating behind us, so now is a good time to turn on your oven.
What temperature should they turn it on to?
About 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, perfect. All right, I'll clean up some of this.
So it's a 3-course menu. We've got a wild mushroom risotto, roast duck with maple baked beans and grits, and sticky toffee pudding for dessert.
Do you want to go through all the recipes? Yeah. All right, well, let's start with the risotto. And these are color-coded green.
Yeah, labeled green sticker. So this is arborio rice. We have par-cooked this with mushroom stock, a little wine, and shallots are in there. We've provided a little bag of stock to continue cooking that. So this is parboiled, it's not finished. Mushrooms, wild mushrooms, these are chanterelles. We have some mascarpone cheese and Parmesan cheese. And we have some Parmesan crisps that we're gonna garnish that with.
All right. And the duck.
Yep. So second course, we have the maple baked beans. These are color-coded yellow. The grits, again, par-cooked, bagged. And this is a duck crown. So this is on the bone. It's 2 breasts. The wings and legs are taken off, but it's on the breastbone still. And we've dry aged this for you, and then we've actually marinated this. There's some herbs in the back, which we're going to use when we're cooking the duck.
We've got the
little garnish for the beans is parsley, and we've got some butter for the risotto and the duck. Little salt and pepper.
And dessert.
Lastly, dessert. We've got a sticky toffee pudding. So this is it's like a cake, but it's steamed. So that's where you get the sticky toffee pudding part. It's a lot denser than a traditional cake because of the steaming.
And these are red, the red dots.
We've got some salted caramel sauce and vanilla whipped cream for garnish.
All right.
So we're going to want to put some stuff in the fridge. I'm going to put Jody, let's put the whipped cream in the fridge so that doesn't fall. We'll start the duck now. I think that's it. We can leave the rest of this out because we're going to start cooking with it. So we want to cook the duck first. While the duck is roasting, we can do the risotto and heat up the sides. This is going to take about 15-20 minutes to cook. So now's a good time to wash your hands. We've already washed our hands, so at home, make sure you wash your hands.
All right.
So one thing about cooking protein is you always want your pan to be hot. If I throw this in the pan when it's cold and heat it up, it's going to stick like glue. All right, so that's going to take a minute.
Do you want to talk about the duck preparation a little bit? What we did here?
So we got this at the restaurant a few days ago. We've dry aged it, so you can see the dry aging actually allows the skin to get crispier when you cook it. So it releases some moisture, the skin dries out a bit, and then what we've done is we've just lightly scored the skin, and that allows the fat to render out in the pan, and you end up with a crispier skin. Duck skin is a lot thicker than a chicken's skin, so the scoring, if you're doing this at home on another night, really helps crisp up that skin. So,
and I was going to say, like, a lot of people don't cook duck at home, but it's not too different from cooking a chicken or a turkey.
The only thing different about cooking duck at home is you're not cooking it well done, necessarily like you would turkey or chicken. You certainly can cook it well done, but it's a lot tastier. We're going to cook it medium rare tonight. So can you pass me the salt?
Sure.
And pepper. Awesome. So we've got some sea salt. Is there pepper too? This one mixed? You know what? This is mixed. I can see it. It's just in the bottom. So we want to generously season this. Sea salt is a lot milder than iodized salt, so don't be shy.
It always amazes me how much seasoning you can put on the skin.
And just a little oil in the pan. Any oil you have at home is great. Vegetable oil, olive oil, grapeseed oil is great for high heat cooking.
So how hot are you actually getting it? I see it's like kind of smoky.
This is kind of smoky. You don't want it white hot. You don't want to start a fire when you put the oil into the pan, but this is lightly smoking, and that's the sound you want to hear.
The sizzle is really what you want to hear. And I just want to remind people that you can, if you need to catch up, you can pause this stream, get yourself organized in the kitchen, get everything you're ready to go. If you haven't yet put the duck on, you can pause, and when you're ready, you can just start the streaming again.
So that's cooking. As mentioned, there's herbs inside this pan. And garlic. So we're going to just take it out of the cavity here. And we're going to fry the herbs in the oil with the duck. A lot of fat is going to render out of the skin. And what we're doing with the herbs and garlic is we're flavoring the oil that's in the pan, and it's penetrating the meat. So the flavor of these herbs is going to cook into the meat.
And so this is our main course, but why are we starting with the duck?
So this is the longest dish to prepare. So we're going to start with this, put it in the oven to finish roasting, and then while this is cooking, we can start our appetizer and the sides, and then we're even going to rest this for about 5 minutes before we slice it. So you can see this is the color you want to go for, and I'm just going to rotate it. We're going to do all 4 sides and get it nice and crispy.
What kind of wines do you think would go well with a course like this? We did bring our Antler wines. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, so we have 2 VQA wines that we've had made for us at the restaurant. I like red wine with red meat, especially game meat. So we've got our Antler Cab Franc from Vineland in Niagara, but you can Pinot Noir. Is great. Cabernet Sauvignon, really great with game meat as well. And then the first course, we have a Chardonnay, again from Vineland, to pair with the mushrooms and the risotto.
And those wines can actually be ordered online for the restaurant. They're available for takeout now.
So again, we're looking for that dark caramelized color.
I think by now your kitchen is smelling really good.
Make sure you've got the hood fan on. Ours is on behind us. But this is a smoke alarm setting off kind of dish. So I do it at my house too, so no shame.
So again, I know you mentioned, you sort of said the duck crown. It's 2 breasts still on the bone, but the legs and wings are removed.
The legs and wings are removed, so you can see here, this is where the wing was, this is where the legs would be. One of the reasons why I wanted to do it on the bone is really because I find it tastes a lot better when you cook meat on the bone. You just get more of a depth of flavor. And then the great part with the bone, you can make a little thing of stock. Again, you can use the stock later for cooking rice or potatoes, anything where you would use water. You can substitute with that stock, and it tastes great. So my garlic and herbs are getting nicely fried, and I don't want to burn them, so I'm just going to kind of stick those back inside the duck.
And this is a technique with crisping the skin first that people can do with chicken if they want.
Yeah, this technique is really great for all birds, chicken, any kind of game birds, turkey. I'm just taking out the garlic because it's starting to burn. And a neat little trick too, if you guys want, is you can baste this duck. So I've got this flavored oil now and fat from the duck. And if you tip your pan to the side, you can get a scoop on the spoon, and this really helps flavor the duck. And also you can see it bubbling. It's helping crisp up the skin.
I will say this is one of the secrets of restaurants, why restaurant food tastes different from the food that you cook at home. They baste everything.
So it's in a little bit of that olive oil, but a lot of that duck fat has rendered out of the skin. And you're really just flavoring it with this, with its own juices and the flavored oil from the herbs.
It's a really beautiful color.
So now this is ready for the oven. You see it's a nice golden color. It's crispy to the touch. I might give it another second on the skin side. And again, this is going to make a mess.
Yeah.
It's spattering everywhere. So again, make sure your hood fan is on. The apron's going to protect you. You know, not just from staining your clothes, but if you get any oil on you, really important to wear an apron.
Especially a great free gift apron.
So when I stick this in the oven, I'm going to put the breast side up. So that's going to be up. The reason for that is we want that skin to stay crispy. Duck is all about crispy skin. A soggy duck breast is very unappetizing to eat. And also the juices that are coming out of this are going to render down. So if it's on the skin side, the juices then make the skin soggy. So skin side up, and then again, when you take it out of the oven for resting, leave that skin up. So I'm going to check that with a thermometer.
Want me to set a timer?
10, yeah, set a timer for about 10 minutes.
Set. All right, what's next?
So now we can start the risotto. Got a small pot. And we want to preheat that a little bit. We're going to cook the mushrooms first, and then add the rice stock and the cheese to finish.
Mushrooms
Thank
there.
you kindly. So we've got butter for you that we've provided.
I'll let you open the stock so I don't spill it everywhere.
You can use about half of this butter. The other half we can use when we're reheating the grits. So if you want to make this at home another time, we are using arborio rice, and it's a short grain Italian rice. It's very starchy, which gives it the kind of sticky texture that you know, the creaminess that you can taste when you eat risotto. So I've got my pan heating up. There's butter in there.
And just, well, you're gonna get the mushrooms going, and then I got a question about the rice after.
Yep. So all the mushrooms into the pot. You can use any mushrooms you'd like. You know, in the future, these are chanterelles, which are in season right now. You know, in some parts of Canada. But you know, anything from the grocery store, oysters, shiitake, cremini, they're all great. But if you can find some wild oyster or morels, lobster mushrooms, they're really fantastic in a risotto because it's such a neutral, the rice has such a neutral flavor, and all you really taste is the mushroom.
And for those who got the cookbook, there actually is a mushroom guide in there where we identify a bunch of different wild mushrooms that we forage for and use at the restaurant. Although I would recommend, if you go foraging for mushrooms, to actually use a professional forager. You don't want to pick the wrong mushroom. And I was going to ask you about the rice. So the package that's come with the meal kit has actually been pre-cooked in some sense already, right?
Yep. So this rice has been pre-cooked. We started it by sweating some shallots, toasting the rice in the butter and oil that we sweat the shallots in, and then little by little we add stock. So this is we made a mushroom stock for this rice, and it's unlike, you know, just boiling and steaming rice. The stock is added little by little and stirred until it's all evaporated, and then you continue to add more stock. So what that does is it really gives the rice that creamy texture, you know, that you don't have with a long grain rice where you just put a lid on and steam it. So we just want to saute the mushrooms a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see this. Just till they soften up, you can see them wilting. But we want to release some of that moisture and concentrate the mushroom flavor. Looks pretty good. And we just add it all at once. I added a little salt to the mushrooms while Jody was talking. I'm just going to break it up a bit. So here's our stock.
And what kind of stock is it?
This is a mushroom stock. We've made with with a lot of the trimmings from mushrooms that we get. We trim off the stems in a lot of cases. We don't throw anything out, so we use that to make stock. And we're just going to add this probably about a third at a time.
So you add a little bit in, you stir it till it evaporates?
Yeah, and you can do this on low or medium. It doesn't have to be super high.
Oh, okay, well there's our timer for the duck.
Okay, Jody, I'll let you check the duck.
10 minutes. If you put your duck in the oven, in the pan, like the way Mike did, make sure you use a towel or an oven mitt to take it out. I can't tell you how many people burn their hands this way.
So I'm just stirring this rice constantly. I don't want it to stick to the bottom or burn, burn on the bottom of the pot.
All right, this is very hot here, but I'll put it down.
So if you have a jar, a mason jar, an empty can, you can actually pour off some of this fat if you want. You can reserve it for another meat dish that you're cooking, or just dispose of it once it's cold. So this is really hot. You pour this in the garbage, it's going to melt the bag. So we just want to take the temperature here. I can kind of go by feeling. This is still going to be a bit rare. And I'm going to push this right to touch the bone. So.
And what are you looking for?
I would say, I like things a little bit more on the rare side. So, 125 to 135 would be, 135 is more medium. If you want a really rare, medium rare piece, I would take that around 125. So this is about 100. Another thing you can do is touch it to your wrist. If it's cold, you can tell, it's still not done yet.
So back in?
Back in. We'll do that for another 5 minutes.
All right. Always good to set a timer. Even the professionals set a timer. All right, so you're finishing up on the stock there?
Yep. So just little by little, don't add it all in at once. You end up with a totally different texture when you just boil it. So it's really about stirring.
And you really see the way
rice.
like the starches come out, and it does kind of create that creamy kind of texture. It's nice.
Okay, so that's just going to finish. I'm going to keep stirring that. I turned it down a little bit so we can start our sides for the duck. So we'll need another 2 little pans.
Grits.
Grits, thank you.
Why don't you tell us a bit about the grits?
So these are, they're actually hominy grits. It's just the type of corn. So it's a corn grain that's used for grits. And these are kind of neat just because it takes so much water to make these. So these are, I believe it's 4 to 1 water to grain. And they're very coarsely ground or cracked. And we actually soak these overnight. You'll see when you take yours out, you can see there are kind of chunks of the yellow pieces of corn. So we actually have to soak it overnight, and then it takes about 4 hours to simmer on the stove. So that's why we've pre-done this for you.
Although the recipe is in the cookbook, right?
The recipe is in the cookbook,
full recipe to make
the full recipe, and then we add butter to this and smoked cheddar. So I'm going to add a little butter.
Smoked cheddar's added already, and
yeah.
Butter is in there, but you're just putting a little bit more in there. I'm adding a little more
butter just to heat it up, and then we can do the beans.
And this is actually a dish that we serve at the restaurant.
Yeah, all of these menu items tonight are at the restaurant. And these beans, you can use any beans. We're using red kidney and white kidney.
And how have these been prepared?
Again, these are dried beans, so we soak these overnight. And then we simmer them stovetop the next day. And just on, medium to warm these up.
Yeah, you want to be careful with these that you don't burn them. You don't go too hot because they can burn at the bottom of the pan.
So just medium is great. We've seasoned all this stuff, but feel free to taste it if you want to add a little more salt. Feel free. This is your dinner. You can prepare it, however you want. Alternatively, these bags, if you want to microwave this stuff, there is no judgment. By all means, microwave it. You can take those little bags and dip them in and reheat them in boiling water if you'd like. Mm-hmm. So if you're worried about all the pans that are going on at the same time,
at least these two.
At least these two, yeah. It's I don't want to take anyone out of their comfort zone with pans everywhere. So no judgment. So the rice is slowly just absorbing the last little bit of the stock here. And we're going to add the mascarpone and Parmesan cheese right at the end before we serve it. So these guys we want to keep stirring. This duck's got another minute to go. Now's a good time we can actually start our dessert. So I've got a tray lined with just a little bit of parchment paper, and we can stick the toffee pudding in the oven while the duck is finishing. So it's got the red label. And hence the name. It is quite sticky, so we've wrapped it in a little bit of parchment paper for you as well. But try not to get it totally stuck to yourself. And just a little flipper or something to handle it once it's cooked.
Okay, the timer's gone off again. So it's been in the oven for a total of 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And we'll take it out.
Sticky toffee in. 400 degrees is fine. So you can just see how much fat has come out of here. It's really quite amazing.
I'm going to move this up for a sec.
And I'm going to take the temperature again. So that didn't take long at all. That's already at 126. So this is perfect now.
So 126 would that be medium rare?
So this is gonna be medium rare. Right by the bone, it might be a little bit more rare, but that's what you want to see at home. And again, duck is really common in the supermarket these days. Most of the major grocery chains do carry duck. Sometimes it's in the frozen section, but they do have it available. So don't be shy in looking for it and trying to cook it at home.
So the fact that the duck is ready now, but you're still cooking the appetizer is okay because of resting, right?
So yeah, you want to rest this meat before you cut into it. If I was to cut it now,
just shut that off.
it's gonna be a little bit more rare. So right now it's finishing cooking, but also the juices need to relax. So if we cut it now, you're gonna see all this pink, juice from the duck just pouring out. So we don't want to lose that. We want to keep that in the meat. So don't touch this. Don't cut it for at least 5 minutes, up to about 10. And if you're worried about it losing too much heat, don't cover it. You cover it with foil. That skin is going to get soggy. So you can just put it in the oven for 30 seconds if you notice it's cooled down a lot. But don't cut it for 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so we're
sorry, Mike, you put that sticky toffee in. How long should that go in for? You're just sort of warming it up right now?
Yeah, the toffee pudding, a minute, 2 minutes. Right. You don't want to crisp it up. We're just trying to warm it through. Right. So we've got some chopped parsley for you guys to finish the beans.
I did shut that one off.
You can use any herbs at home if you're doing this. Again, it doesn't have to be parsley. It can be basil, rosemary, thyme, whatever. And we're going to finish our risotto. So we've got the mascarpone cheese helps with the creaminess, and Parmesan all at once. And just mix this until it's all incorporated.
Looks fantastic.
This is one of my favorite comfort foods. And it's really the best way just to taste mushrooms. You can add, if you like truffles, you can add truffle oil at home, or when they're in season, if you're lucky enough, you can shave some on top.
I don't know if they can see. Show how creamy that's gotten. It's incredible. So you want this sort of creamy consistency to it.
You want to, yeah. It would resemble like a cream of wheat or a porridge. You don't want it too soupy. That's not the texture we want. So if you do find yours is a little loose, just continue cooking to absorb more of that stock, and it will thicken up.
I'm going to take the pudding out because it's been in there for a couple of... Let's see how hot it is here.
All right, I think we're just about ready here. So got some...
All right, the plating of the appetizer.
Okay, so we're just going to do one of each. I know that it is a box for two, but we'll just do one of each to show you.
And this is basically pretty much exactly how we plate it and serve it at the restaurant.
Yep. So you guys can, at home, you can pause this. You can plate the risotto and eat that first, and then come back and just warm this up slightly, or you can serve it all at once at the table. Totally up to you. And we've garnished this with Parmesan crisps. I like the textural difference between the creaminess of the rice and the cheese, and then the Parm crisps give it a nice kind of nutty flavor when you bake the cheese.
And if people want to make these at home one day, they're the easiest things.
Yeah, these are great. This is the only trick to this is you have to use fresh Parmesan cheese. You can't use stuff that's already pre-grated. Because it won't come together, so it won't melt properly. I don't know why. You know, the block cheese just it's fresh. I think the grated stuff it just dries out, and who knows how old it is. So fresh cheese, put it on a parchment paper on a baking sheet, and just bake it. It's really only 3 to 4 minutes at about 400 degrees to get this crisp. Just so you guys know, you guys can use the Q&A chat at the end, just in the comment section. We'll do our best to get to everyone's questions, so let us know if you need anything. We're here to help answer those questions.
All right.
You know what? I'm going to let that duck rest, so we'll plate the dessert. Dessert's super simple, guys. Caramel sauce, whipped cream. Joe, do you want to grab the whipped cream?
Yeah.
The caramel sauce, you guys can heat it up if you'd like, just in a little pot of boiling water or the microwave. At the restaurant, we keep a big pot of it warm, but it's pretty great cold too. So, we've added salt to it already, but if you guys want at home, you can garnish with a little sea salt, the flake sea salt. It's absolutely wonderful on top of this dessert.
Yeah, and again, feel free to pause while you enjoy your appetizer and get the main course ready. This dessert's easy to do after.
So super simple, just the toffee pudding, caramel sauce, and the vanilla whipped cream. And I think we can work on the duck. The way I like to do it at home and at the restaurant is add the grits down first, which will act as the well for the beans. And just make like a little hole in the middle to hold the sauce from the beans.
Maybe we'll clear some of this stuff out of the way for your carving. What do you think?
Great.
the best part.
Just like Thanksgiving. So the anatomy of this bird, like chicken, pheasant, you know, everything else, this is where the neck is. The breastbone runs along here, so you just want to cut on the side of that breastbone until you hit the breast, sort of the ribs underneath, and then you just turn the knife this way and cut the breast off. So it's just like an L cut. So down, here's where you can see the color. It's a nice pink and more red towards the bone. The wishbone's at the front. You can kind of cut under that.
Don't forget, after you do this, we want to see your photos of all your dishes, and you can share it at the hashtag #AmexForFoodies. We really want to see them.
So here's the duck breast off the bone.
Turn that around.
And you see that we've cut down and then off. It's nice and rare right at the bone, and a little bit more pink on top.
And duck can be cooked medium rare as opposed to like a chicken or a turkey.
Yeah, duck doesn't have you know, salmonella like chicken does, so you know, it's really best eaten medium rare, medium. I wouldn't recommend anything more than that, but it's up to you. If that's your preference, then go ahead. But me personally, I wouldn't eat it more than medium. So, you know, 130, 135 would be the max Fahrenheit to take it out of the oven at. And this was 126, and it's pretty nicely cooked with a little tiny bit of rare at the bone.
126 Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit, yeah. So I'm slicing this duck horizontally, just for texture-wise. It's duck is a little bit tougher than chicken meat, so when you slice it, it's just a little bit easier to eat. So I'll turn that. So here we have our smoked cheddar cheese grits, the maple baked beans, and the roast duck breast. I'm just looking for a little salt to finish on top. Oh, here it is. Tiny little bit of flake salt on top. And there you have it. We've got the wild mushroom risotto, the cheddar cheese smoked grits, maple baked beans and roast duck, and the sticky toffee pudding with salted caramel and vanilla whipped cream.
That's just fantastic. This really is a great opportunity to experience what we do at Antler. I think we can't thank you enough for supporting us during this time and being part of the Amex for Foodies program. It means a lot for us to be able to share what we do and share our food, especially during these times. So we really hope you enjoy the meal.
Find us at antlerkitchenbar.com. You can buy the book from our site. You can order these meals all to go or as a meal kit. Please scan the QR code that's about to pop up on your screen and rate this experience. And please share your photos of your meals tonight. Hashtag #AmexForFoodies. We want to see them online, and go enjoy your dinner.
Enjoy. Thank you.